So, why casual sex is useless? Even hooking up. We can talk about casual sex and hooking up at the same time. But I'm mainly talking about why casual sex is useless. This video is mostly for women, right? I know men watch me too, but more than likely this video is geared to women. So, casual sex is like any intimate or physical activity that includes kissing, oral sex, mutual masturbation of each other, and actual intercourse, right? So it's where you involve in this activity without expectations, without accountability, without pressures of being in a romantic relationship, without you think and you believe you are going to be free without emotional entanglement and emotional co- attachment, right? Um, Casual sex is where you believe that you would not get attached. You would not get rejected because both of you agree that it's just for fun, and it's just for enjoyment. You believe that you will not be judged by the person you are having intercourse with because you both agree that it's just for fun, right? So, casual sex in today's society is portrayed as this exciting and thrilling encounter where there's no strings attached and it's a freeing and a cheerful, exciting experience without any conditions, right? That is how it's portrayed in today's society. It's very common today and it's becoming socially accepted and normal to be having casual sex. A lot of teens and young adults involve themselves in casual sex very often, and a non committed romantic relationship is normal today in society, right? So you think it's freeing and you're independent and you're exploring and you feel this fake confidence in the moment and this self-esteem when this person is pursuing you just because they want to have sex with you and you feel like you're wanted and you feel like you're attractive in the moment, right? So that is casual sex and that is how it's portrayed, right? So I'm saying casual sex is useless for women because really and truly your feelings get hurt because you probably develop feelings for this person you had sex with, and yes, you both agree that is nothing serious, but then when you realize that they are sleeping with other persons, that they they can be having sex with other persons because it's just casual, it's kind of just hooking up, your feelings get hurt because you start to feel insignificant and unimportant to them because they probably lied to you and said they're not having sex with anyone. Some people, they create different situations where they do not want a romantic relationship, but they want to have sex with just this one person, and then they might lie and say they're not having sex with other people, and then your feelings get hurt, right? Casual sex is useless because you feel rejected. You probably um you pro you probably start to feel emotionally connected to them. You start to feel the strong emotional attachment, and then they don't feel the same way and you feel rejected. It's useless because you worry, especially if you did this unprotected. You worry that you have a STD or that you got some infection, or you worry that you're pregnant, right? And you worry that they might think that you're easy and that you're silly, and you were even if you um, decide or you get this baby, that you are worried that they will not take care of you or the baby because it was just hooking up, it was just some casual sex, and they really might not care about you. So you worry, and also it's useless because you feel disappointment, right? You you feel disappointed because you think in your mind, maybe you agree to just hook up, just have casual sex, just be random, and then you in your mind you think that you're going to use sex to make him grow close to you or to make him have feelings towards you, and then eventually wants to be in a relationship with you, and that does not happen, and you feel really disappointed. And this does not work, because if he mentioned that he did not want a relationship in the beginning, he does not want a commitment, and he puts you in the category of sex zone or friends with benefits or just casual hooking up and so on, you're going to stay in that category more than likely forever. So you feel really disappointed because you think that being intimate with him and having sex with him and being giving up your body and sleeping with him, eventually he would develop feelings for you and he would feel connected to you, and that is not the case, especially if he mentioned that he did not want a commitment with you and you were placed in sex zone. You would be in that zone more than likely forever, and this makes you feel disappointed. Casual sex is useless because you regret. It's like you have learned this hard lesson. You might have gotten an STD, you might have gotten pregnant, and then the cost of medical services, you have to pay for the service, you have to pay to get tested, you might need an abortion, you need medication and all of these things, and you regret because you realize you made a bad decision, and now you're suffering the consequences of being silly and making a bad decision. Casual sex is useless because you feel heartbroken, because it's unsatisfying to be in this gray area with someone. This person, you might spend time with them, you might have sex with them, and then you feel heartbroken because you develop feelings, and then they are stonewalling you, they are ghosting you, they disappear, and you feel hurt and you still feel shocked because yes, you agreed to hook up with your actions. You still involve yourself having sex with him casually, but then you still feel shocked and you still feel hurt when they ghost you and stonewall you. And now you feel emotionally tied to someone who is nowhere to be found and is not contacting you, is not checking on you, seems like they does not care about you. It was just for one night, and that could make you feel really heartbroken. Casual sex is useless because you feel terrible after, because you probably was spending time with them. Sometimes you hook up, you have casual sex, and then you start to spend time with them, and then you feel mistreated and you feel misguided because you thought that it might lead to a commitment and it did not, and then he may ask you just to be cool or to be friends or just to see where this goes, and you feel terrible because maybe he might be cheating on his wife with you, he might be cheating on his girlfriend with you, he might be still going back to his ex, he might be involved with other women, and you feel terrible because um he might just use you to bust a nut, really, and you realize he's not taking you seriously, so that's why you feel terrible, and he's asking you to be cool and to be friends, and you would feel terrible about this. Sex um, should be done in a commitment, it should be done in a long-term relationship, and it should be done in marriage, so you could avoid feeling all of these negative emotions and being in all of these bad situations. Men, males, they would agree to have sex with you, to be casual with you, to say that it's just hooking up, and then behind your back with their friends they call you a whore, they call you a bitch, they call you trash, they call you slut, you're for the streets, and you're easy and whatever. So you have to face that name calling, and they're talking about you behind your back. Casual sex is useless because you get emotional distress, because a healthy female healthy young lady, most of us, we want a relationship, we want to be cherished, and we want to be desired. And hooking up and having casual sex could really make you feel shame and really make you feel guilty, right? And you feel uh, embarrassed about the situation when you think back. Maybe your friends and your family knew about you hooking up and being involved with this guy, and now you feel embarrassed because they're not around anymore. It was just casual, it was just hooking up. You wanted a relationship, but you did not get that, and that is why you have like emotional distress. Casual sex is useless because you feel misguided, you feel confused, you feel like they tricked you, you feel deceived. And most people are not talking about this. You are not talking about this with your friends, how you feel deceived and tricked. Even though you agreed by your actions and show that you're just having fun, you're just hooking up, you have some random sex here and there, it's not a real relationship, we're having fun, it's just for fun, it's exciting and it's thrilling, but deep down you feel misguided, you feel tricked, and you feel deceived. And your friends might not be talking about this, so you will feel isolated and feel like you're the only person who's feeling like this, and that you should not feel like this. Right? Casual sex is useless because you can feel depressed and really sad after. Because you feel attached and connected, you feel emotionally attached and connected to them after you have sex with them. Right? You feel like you want a romantic relationship with somebody who rejected you, and that could cause you to feel down and low. Casual sex is useless because you feel resentment after. After you had sex with them, you feel connected to them. You don't hear from them. They did not text you the next day. They did not call you the next day. The silence and the distance between both of you really makes you feel like you're a bad person. You were romanticizing about them. You were fantasizing about how you might have gotten in a relationship. So you think that they're a bad person now. And you forget to blame yourself for living in a fantasy world. And you forget that you were showing that you were okay with casual sex when you really wanted a romantic relationship. So you feel resentment towards them. You think that they're a bad person. They might not be a bad person, or they might actually be a cruel person. We don't know. I don't want to be all scientific in this video, but sex, including casual sex, the brain releases oxytocin, that is a hormone which makes you feel like emotionally tied to the person. It's a hormone that is responsible for connection and bonding, and it is released through touch and non-sexual touch and sexual touch. So even when you have sex with a stranger, or you just hook up and you have some casual sex, you feel this attachment and you feel this connection, and that is why you could have all this sadness, depression, and anxiety. You feel sad, you feel anxious, and you feel upset. That is why casual sex is useless, because it's a bad experience, or you probably are repeating this bad experience again. You have the same bad experience happening to you. Maybe you did not learn from your mistake. So you get upset with yourself for making the same mistake over and over again. And that causes anxiety because you worry and you fear that your family knows about the situation. Your friends probably look down on you now. And I don't know what your culture is. And you feel even more sad because maybe you already have unhealed trauma around intimacy. You have unhealed trauma maybe around interactions with the opposite sex. You have love trauma from relationships in the past. and you're already struggling with issues surrounding communication and connection and being vulnerable and abandonment and neglect, and you hook up and you have casual sex and you feel bad, you feel disgusted about yourself, you didn't follow your standards, you probably lower your standards, you regret, you probably regret the person you had sex with. Maybe you were drunk, many things. This is why casual sex is useless. It's useless because you feel unsatisfied and you feel unfulfilled after time has passed. Maybe maybe just after you finish, you feel unfulfilled. You don't have to wait until the day after or a week after, a couple of weeks after. You will feel unfulfilled and unsatisfied because you realize that you are disposable to them, and they are disposable to you. Both are disposable to each other, and you were just a body for one night or a week, or you were just used for the summertime or whatever, just for a period of time. And then sometimes this could go on for months and years. Casual sex and hooking up, and you start to think that you are, could be weeks after, could be the day after, could be a month after, you start to think that you're unlovable, something is wrong with you, that you're not special, that you're not important. And the encounter reminds you that maybe you're not worthy of keeping. Maybe you're not worthy to be a girlfriend, to be a wife. Maybe you're not worthy of commitment. And that might not be true, but the day after, a week after, you start thinking all of these things, and that could feel really unsatisfying, and that could make you feel unfulfilled. After, the day after, the week after, a month after, whenever it happens to you, you could feel empty and you feel worthless. It could be just after your orgasm. Maybe you didn't have an orgasm. If you're a woman watching this, you had casual sex, you hook up, more than likely you did not have an orgasm, and that's another reason why it's useless. If you think that you want to do casual sex to have pleasure and to have orgasm and to have enjoyment and a thrill, more than likely you might not have an orgasm. But if you do, hours after, the day after, weeks after, you reflect what happened and you realize that it wasn't worth it, you feel empty because it was just this temporary moment and nothing came out of it. You could feel your self-esteem getting low, you feel your self-worth getting low, and when you don't feel cherished and you don't feel valued and you don't feel respected and appreciated, that could really bring you down as a woman. You could feel stupid, you feel like a silly girl, you feel like you were trapped, like you feel confused, you're full of ambiguity, you don't know what is going on. And this fun and the thrill and excitement and the joy you thought that you were going to experience, it was over really quickly or abruptly. And that is why you feel empty and you feel worthless right after, or the day after, or week after. So that is why casual sex and hooking up is useless. That is all of the negative emotions that you could experience, and all the consequences you have to face, like STD and unwanted pregnancy, depression, sadness, heartbrokenness. And casual sex might not be for you. If you feel empowered and you feel excited and you feel confident and at peace after casual sex, well, casual sex is for you. If you feel fulfilled and what a relief, and wow, I'm motivated right now, I feel so refreshed and rejuvenated after casual sex, then it's for you. But more than likely, you do not feel this after. If you have unhealed trauma, you dealt with abandonment, you dealt with neglect, you have an insecure attachment style, you were abused as a child, you have love trauma from past relationships, you had bad sexual experiences. All of these come into play when you're hooking up and having casual sex, and it's just going to make it worse. So this video is just saying to learn from your experiences. Maybe if you made a mistake, try to make it once, especially with hooking up and casual sex. STDs are real. Unwanted pregnancy is real. Abortion is real. Feeling depressed and heartbroken from sexual encounters is real. And if you're a man watching this, spreading your seed as a man is not contributing to this society. You're causing women to be single parents. You're causing children to grow up poor. They're abandoned and they could be abused when you're not there to take care of them. If you're a man watching this and you do casual sex a lot and you go in raw hooking up, you are causing dysfunction in this society. Right? So that's the end of this video. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you like this content, you can subscribe, and see you in the next video.